Hey my adorable squidlings, it is Katie here and I hope you're having a squidlicious day today. So today you are getting the monthly series speed paint that I've been trying to do, and that is the Pisces Zodiac sign for this month. If you're not familiar with how I'm doing them, I am actually doing these based on what sign falls on the first of the month. So for this one, March, it is Pisces. Now, I've been having my eye on this one because I've been really wanting to draw mermaids lately, so I drew a mermaid because the sign for Pisces is actually 2 fish, so I thought it would be really fun to just kind of incorporate something I've been wanting to draw. So, I really hope that if you are a Pisces, I do your sign justice. I really like this one. So far, so good, I guess. I can't say it's one of my favorites because I love all of these so far. I'm really attached to them. So first off, with all of the pieces, they are in the night sky, so I did do a galaxy background. And then later on you'll see the constellation, I'll draw that in. But first I start doing a watercolor wash onto everything. I flat color it, and that's where it really hits the ugly stage. So before I add any details and stuff, it really hits this bad, ugly stage. So I want to let you guys know that I do have a Patreon where you can see early works in progress of stuff like this piece. You can also get free line art to color and download every month. You can win free stuff in art raffles and coloring contests, and you can get prints sent to you every month in the mail. So if you want to check that out, link will be on the screen, and it helps support the channel. So yeah, 2 birds, 1 stone. Also, if you're not interested in joining Patreon, but you are interested in this as a piece, it is available on my store right now. So you can get both large and small prints, plus the original. Those are not taken, so if you're interested in this piece, you really like it, you're a Pisces, or it just resonates with you, I guess, then yeah, head on over to my store and check it out. Link will also be on the screen. I would appreciate it. What I really like about doing these pieces is the fact that I can kind of take my time and make layers upon layers of different, mediums and experiment a little bit, but also try to, take my time and not feel as rushed with these pieces. And I also do mixed media, adding a bunch of details that I normally don't and all that stuff. So it makes me feel really accomplished when I do these. So yeah, so let's talk about the Pisces sign. So as you may guess, it is a water element and its ruling planet is Neptune. The symbol, as I've already said, is 2 fish, and this picture, she does have it tattooed on her lower right hip, I believe. It's kind of on her stomach hip area. I don't really know how to explain that. So they're flowers. Of course they have more than one flower, but the one I chose to illustrate was water lilies. I also did like little lily pads just because I thought it was cute, and I had a lot of fun drawing them. They also have a bunch of different birthstones, but the one I chose to illustrate for this particular piece is jade. I thought it would go nice with the blue feel of it. Blue and green kind of go together and they look really good. And I don't know, I just wanted to do something a little different. As I said, I did choose a blue and green color scheme to go with just because of the water element plus the jade, and I thought it would be, a nice color scheme to kind of coincide with this mermaid fish idea. So a little bit about Pisces. They are supposed to be kind of emotional, and they are mystical as well as dreamy, and I thought it would be kind of fun to illustrate that in here because, well, number one, mermaids are mystical creatures and they're fantasy and all that stuff. Plus I wanted her to have like a dreamy look on her face, and she's interacting with the 2 fish that are swimming around her hair, and I don't know, I just thought it would be really cute. And as you can see, that constellation is now in the picture. I kind of tried to put her in the pose of the constellation, but of course it'll never be perfect because getting somebody in that pose would be really weird because it's almost a complete V shape, and I don't know, it just seems like it would be uncomfortable. So now I'm going in with my Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils just to add a lot more detail than, just the watercolors. Of course, I could do it with watercolors, but this piece is only 8 by 10, and I wanted to add a lot of detail in a small amount of space, so colored pencils seem a more logical, way to go about it than trying to make some tiny, tiny details with my big clunky paintbrushes. Of course, it's doable, but I don't really want to submit myself to that kind of frustration. if you want to know any and all supplies that I am using, I will have them linked in the description below. It's pretty simple. It's just some watercolor, some colored pencil, and a couple of, you know, liner pens and stuff. So now I'm going on to the skin shading. I'm using a mixture of a darker skin tone. I didn't really want her to be like white, but I also didn't want her to be like dark. I wanted her to be like a kind of a tannish color. I don't know if it really comes across in the picture, but I don't know. I felt white was too pale for the color scheme I chose, and I felt like a dark skin would be a little too dark for the color scheme, so I wanted something just kind of smack dab in the middle. Plus, I want all of these girls to have somewhat different skin tones. I don't want them all to be one skin tone, so I am kind of experimenting with that, so hopefully I can remember to do it and not mess up too much. So leave a comment down below, let me know if you think I did your sign justice, and I cannot wait to do the rest of these. Every time I do a Zodiac piece, I just kind of am reminded how much I love doing these. It's a nice experiment for me to kind of push myself out of my comfort zone, and whether I like it or not, I still think that, you know, it was worth the effort, and so far so good. I like 3 of 3 of them, so yay for that. So with the fish, I did some really simple shading on the tail and the fins. Then I added a couple scales, and that was about it. And I did the same thing with her tail, just added some really simple shading, added some scales. And then later on, I'll go in with a white gel pen, and I will kind of lighten some of the areas up. Another thing I found out that you could do with these colored pencils is you can kind of smudge them with your finger, so I was really excited about that. Helped me get a little bit better blending, because I don't have colors that would match some of the watercolors I used perfectly, so I had to kind of improvise, and so some of them ended up being a little darker, so it was nice to be able to kind of smudge it out without having to worry about it looking all wonky. I think my favorite part of this picture is her hair. I just love the detail that I added, and was really surprised that it came out really nicely, at least in my opinion. Here I am coloring the water lilies and the lily pads. I did a mixture of pink ones and light white or pink ones, however you want to see that. I did the darker ones because I also added that color into the sky, and I felt like it would kind of tie it together a little bit. Plus, I like the look of the white ones, so I wanted to incorporate those as well. So I just kind of alternated them around the border here. As you can tell, I did not add a ton of them around the border just because, it really would have looked kind of weird because water lilies aren't, you know, super prominent. Like, when you look at a thing, you don't see a ton of flowers, you just see like 1 or 2, and then there are a ton of lily pads. So that is actually why I drew more lily pads than flowers. Adding some detail with a white pen, and then with the light ones, I kind of wanted to just outline it in a light pink just to kind of give it a subtle hint of that. See, that's another thing I'm trying to do with these pieces, is outline it in the colored pencil to give it a soft look. Yay! And then later on, or now I guess, I'm doing the border. So what I like to do with all of these borders is outline it and then give it some texture. I really like the texture of the colored pencil on the watercolor paper. So yeah, it's kind of the reasoning behind that. And then in a second, I'm going to take that Jelly Roll pen and outline all of the, not really outline, but circle in the constellation stars. And then I will actually outline all around her because I want her to feel a little bit more ethereal. So she has like a little white outline, so she kind of stands out a little bit more behind the background. Of course, she stands out enough because she's, you know, not even really the colors of the background, but I want her to pop that much more. So yeah, I don't know, I'm just really proud of this piece, and I know I say that in every Zodiac piece, but I feel like the longer I take on a picture, the more proud of it I am, I guess. I don't know, this picture probably took me about 2 hours to completely paint. Maybe longer, I'm not really quite sure. I cannot wait to do the next one. I think the next one is Aries, but I'm not sure. But I can't wait to do the next one. So we're going to be looking at the final piece right about now. I really hope you like it. Again, prints are available at my store as well as the original. And yeah, thank you guys so incredibly much for watching. I love you guys so much, and I hope to see you in the next video on Friday. So until next time, my adorable squidlings, toodaloo!